Hello, good morning, this is Rob Koster for cardgameexpert.com, and today I will be playing 5-color Superfriends. This is a deck by Aspiring Spike. He's a Twitch streamer, definitely check out his work, he makes all sorts of cool decks. I felt like playing Planeswalkers, so I decided to sleeve this one up. We have Khan, the Great Creator, here to get things out of our sideboard. We have Knowledge Pool in our sideboard, we have the various puzzle box in our sideboard, so we can lock people out using either Narset plus the various puzzle box, or Teferi plus Knowledge Pool. Narset plus the various puzzle box makes that they can't draw cards anymore. Teferi plus Knowledge Pool makes it so that they can't play spells anymore. For the rest, we have a bunch of Planeswalkers, like a bunch of Jace, Vraska, Dovin. Dovin does something on the board, which I really like. This deck looks like it's missing board interaction by a lot. For the rest, we have Renan 6, and I think this mana curve is just very scary. I'm really scared of just clunking out or just not doing anything until turn 3, which is just a recipe for disaster in Modern. But I want to try it out. He managed to 5-0 with it, so there must be something here. With that being said, I rented this deck from MANATRADERS. If you want to check them out, you can use coupon code NUCLEAR to get a discount on your first 3 months. And with that being said, let's get to the games. Okay, so we have a Narset, a Dovin, a Jace, and an Ashiok, and a Utopia Sprawl to do it all on turn 2. We obviously keep this. We play the Utopia Sprawl on 1. They play a land. Nothing going on there yet. On our turn 2, we check if they F6 or not. We play an Ashiok. If they didn't F6, they can't use their Flooded Strand anymore, and we just Stone Rain them. However, they do have the Force of Negation, so yeah, they didn't F6. Then they play at the Fairy Time Raveler on their turn, which doesn't really matter. Like, the best they could do is bounce a Utopia Sprawl, and it doesn't really mess with our curve because we just have a bunch of 3-drops in our hand anyway. So yeah, they go for the bouncing of the Utopia Sprawl. I play a Narset, I minus the Narset, I find, I believe I take Oath of Nissa here. Yeah, I take the Oath of Nissa. I already have a J, so don't need a second one. So minus Nissa again because they didn't do anything. I take the Fairy out of it. Then we play a Utopia Sprawl. And then Oath of Nissa again. Oath of Nissa finds nothing of any use. Let's make a land drop, I guess, but nothing useful there. They play... Oh no, I play at the Fairy Time Raveler here. In response, they Growth Spiral it. I'm guessing this gets countered. But no, it resolves. So I end up using the Teferi Time Raveler to bounce my own Oath of Nissa. And they play an Uro. So yeah, Uro things happen. Like it goes away. It does things. Like Uro is Uro. Oath of Nissa happens again for us. And we take an Arbor Elf. We play a Jace the Mind Sculptor. And now we have a Jace at the Teferi and a Narset against the Teferi and them having 1 card. So we go Fate Seal and they concede. On to game 2, because this deck doesn't sideboard. We have this hand, which doesn't cast any of its spells. We have this hand, which doesn't cast any of its spells. And then we go to this hand, which is quite reasonable. So yeah, we play a Dovin as bait. I don't want to get the Teferi card. Like, the Teferi is really powerful in this matchup. So, but... yeah, Dovin gets remanded anyway. They play an Uro again. They put a Mystic Sanctuary in to play with the Uro. They get the remand back on top. We Oath of Nissa and we completely whiff. Yeah, just nothing but lands. Like, we needed gas, we didn't get it. The Fairy Time Raveler gets Force of Negation because I don't have the time to bait out anything anymore. I need to get something going at this point. Then we play a Narset that gets remanded. That remand looks awfully familiar. They just put it back on top after all. Then Arbor Elf goes in for the kill. Only 90 more tries of that. If they forget to play their Uro. They Growth Spiral, put in the land. They escape the Uro. I play a Narset. Yeah, I'm feeling very, very favored right now. So anyway, I play the Narset. Is it resolving? Is this resolving? Yes, it's actually resolving. So we go and get a card out of it. And we get it the Fairy Time Raveler. And we try and play it. And what do you know? They have another remand. Who would have guessed? So yeah, the Fairy gets remanded again. And now they attack with the Uro. But haha, sucks for them. They're not drawing a card. Haha, gotcha there. So anyway, Narset dies. It's just... and that's a Cryptic Commander, not the Fairy. And at this point, they just have us locked out. Like, they're just fooling around with some value. just making all sorts of value plays. They don't really need to. They can just bounce the Mystic Sanctuary a bunch. But it turns out they just have a second one, and they're just using that one. Now they have Mystic Sanctuary, Force of Negation, and Cryptic Command, and there's a Remand in the loops from them. And at this point, I'm just done. Like, I'm never resolving a spell anymore. And on to game 3, we have Utopia Sprawl, turn 2 Ashiok, so let's see what happens. So we play an Ashiok on turn 2, and this time, they need to think, are they going to Spell Pierce it or something? I don't know. But it resolves, so yeah. So now they just can't do anything. Like, they're just completely locked out of the game, and they just realized what they did. Nice. So for this match we have a Birds of Paradise, an Ashiok Dreamrender, a Jace and some lands. This is a keep. It's not great. Like, we are very afraid of running out of gas here. So our opponent goes turn 1 Mountain, Memnite, Ornithopter. So I'm like, is this Affinity? What is this? Is this like Mono Red Affinity? They play a Vexing Devil, and this puts me onto thinking they are like, Kuldotha Red? Which is a very fringe deck that you barely ever see. Anyway, they Vexing Devil us. On turn 2 they Memnite us. And now we just play an Ashiok and we gain a life. But the gaining life is better than the actual Ashiok. Like, Ashiok has no text in this match whatsoever. And that's one of the big things with this deck. Like, you sometimes just really want to board some card out. Like, I don't want Ashiok in my deck in this matchup at all. We end up playing a Vraska from the top of our deck, sacrificing a force. All I'm doing is just drawing cards because I need more gas and I need to gain life. So I just keep sacrificing lands, drawing cards, playing Dovin, just preventing damage, gaining a life. Every single turn, just gain a life, gain a life, gain a life, which is the best way to stop a red deck. Just gain a lot of life. And that's the Kuldotha Rebirth, as I said. That card is the reason why this deck is called Kuldotha Red. It says as an additional cost to cast a spell, sacrifice an artifact, and you get 3 1/1 goblins for 1 mana, which is quite insane when it works. But this deck is super glass cannon. Like, if you get to a turn 7 or 8, you're probably losing. They find a Burning Tree Emissary off the top, but at this point I have 4 Planeswalkers in hand, so I'm not really scared. However, they also have the Reckless Bushwhacker, so they are going to whack me really hard. And so they're coming in. It's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 damage. So I go to 5. So I'm actually almost dead on board here. However, I can remove a lot of damage with the Planeswalkers. Just sacrificing, making them lose a creature and preventing the damage. Just doing everything I can to stop the damage. Getting another blocker in Heart of Kiran. I was really impressed with Heart of Kiran in this matchup, by the way. So I didn't know why it was in the sideboard, because you could just always go get Wormcoil Engine. But Heart of Kiran was so good here. They play more wacky creatures. We have a Heart of Kira now, so we have 2 blockers, one thing that prevents damage, and something that gains us life, and after a while just kills some creatures. So we are in a very good position now. I'm really scared of Lightning Bolt still, though, as they obviously just keep attacking, and they're all coming at me. Like, they're not attacking the Planeswalkers, and I very, very much agree with that. They shouldn't do that. They should not be going after my Planeswalkers as well. So they play very well. I honestly think that they play well. Then I get to the finding of the Wormcoil Engine this time. And now I have a 6/6 lifelinker. So please don't top deck Bolt. Or a Goblin Grenade. Or a Shrapnel Blast. But they don't. We get the turn back. Now we draw a second Interplanar Beacon. And we gain 2 every time we play a Planeswalker. And now the Wormcoil comes in. At this point, I've won the game. Like, I'm at 12. I have a Wormcoil Engine. There's no way they're ever getting through this. So I'm just going to jace it up a bit. And just enjoy my value trade. Like, as long as they're not conceding, I will make more value. This is just great. Like, this is the whole reason you play this deck. Like, I want to tick my Ashiok. I want to tick my Vraska. I want to tick my Dovin. I want to tick my Khan. I want to tick my Jace. And I've done a lot. And you are now. And nothing happens. Like, they play another Burning Tree. At this point, I have just as many creatures as them. I sacrificed the Wormcoil, by the way, to the Vraska, because I wanted to make sure that I have enough blockers, so I don't get, like, randomly ran out or something. Like, I will win this late game. I don't care at this point anymore. And now I'm just ran and 6ing. I'm stopping all the creatures. I'm just killing everything at this one. Just really putting the nail in the coffin here with the Chalice of the Void. Like, They are done. They have been done for a while. I find the third in a planet beacon and I just gained 3 life. I'm back at 19. When I put this Ren and 6 on the stack, I'm going to 22. So yeah, I'm at 22 again. I have more life than when I started. This game has been over for a long time. So this game did take very long. If you watch the clocks, they have 11 minutes, I have 14. This was a long game. So they go turn 1, Memnite and Bowmat Courier. They attack for 1. I take it with my face and I go to 18 after fetching. Then Ren and 6 just on turn 1 with the Simian Spirit Guide. Which the turn 1 Ren and 6 is really impressive. Just go Simian Spirit Guide, Forest, Ren and 6 is so cool. It's just so much fun to do that. So they play a Burning Tree Emissary. They play a Vexing Devil out of it. What do you wish to take 4 damage? Well, really not. I'd rather not, but I'm not beating a 4-3 right now because this deck can't deal with big creatures at all. So Memnite and Bowmat Courier attack. They both go after Ren and 6. And Ren and 6 goes bye-bye. And yeah, they play a Signal Pest, which is really scary for me. Signal Pest owns me at this point. Like, look at this. I have a million Planeswalkers and a single Signal Pest just ruins my day. It's insane how bad this deck is at dealing with creatures. So, Memnite and Emissary, Bowmat Courier come in. I top deck another Ren and 6 as I get insanely lucky to do that. This was just insanely lucky. Like, I would have lost this game on the spot if I didn't get insanely lucky. Like, there's 2 Ren and 6 or something. Like, 1 in 25 or something. A bit more than that. 1 in 22 or something to draw 1. And I did. So, I got really lucky there. But I end up dying anyway. Yeah, this deck just cannot deal with creatures good enough. So we keep this hand. This is a risky hand. I need to draw lands, but I do have an Arbor Elf. And I end up blocking the Bowmat Courier. Like, I want every card in my deck to be a removal spell. I go Oath of Nissa, find an Interplanar Beacon. They play a Burning Tree Emissary. They play a Memnite. The Memnite comes into play. They play the Kuldotha Rebirth again. They play a Bowmat Courier. And they attack for 1. And at this point, I have 3 mana. I gain 2 life for every spell I play, basically. And so let's get to playing some spells. I play a Teferi Time Raveler. Gain 2 life. Be very happy about it. Bounce the Goblin token. Draw a card. And I usually want to go for the Oath of Nissa with the Teferi, but I really need them to have less creatures. Like, the less creatures they have, the more I'm winning the game. This game is not about card advantage. So if I hadn't bounced the creature now, I would have taken 2 more damage. Which would have put me at 7, which is fine. But now, yeah, look at this. I'm just sputtering out of gas again. Like, there's nothing going on. So, Khan the Great Creator comes into play. Gain 2 life again. They attack with the... Oh, no, I turn off... Yeah, in response to the Khan, they sacrifice the Bowmat Courier. I go for the Heart of Kiran again. They boarded in a Talmud script against me. I don't know. They play a Legion Loyalist. I block. So at this point, I would have been dead to Bolt if I hadn't made the play I made earlier with the with the Teferi just bouncing the creature. Like, if I hadn't done it, I would have been dead to Bolt here. I don't know if they have the Bolt, but I would have been dead to it. So Goblin Bushwhacker comes into play. Everything attacks again. I would have been at 1 now, which would have been really scary. Like, that 2 life that I gained from just bouncing the 1 creature just gives me the opportunity to play around a Bolt for a long time. And yeah, so I find an Ensnaring Bridge. I have no cards, and I attack with the Wormcoil Engine first to gain 6 life. Then I play the Ensnaring Bridge, and now this game is just over. Like, we're done here. They have a 1 minute on the clock, and I have 4. Like, this has been easily the longest Kuldotha Red match I have ever played in my life. And it's not particularly close. Like, these matches usually last like 5 minutes, and this has been going on for almost 50. So yeah, we keep plussing Chandra, drawing cards. We find a Teferi, we put it on the stack. Yeah, we keep plussing the Vraska here, plus play Teferi, and they just concede. Okay, so in our opening hand we have a couple of Planeswalkers and a Utopia Sprawl. So let's keep. Our opponent plays a Mishra's Bauble. Then yeah, they sacrifice it. I play a Utopia Sprawl. So yeah, Utopia Sprawl, put it on blue. They end of turn fetch shock themselves without doing anything, so obviously Death Shadow. That's a Tarmogoyf coming into play. We use our Narset to find a Dovin Hand of Control. They thought sees us taking the Narset. Oh, they take the Vraska, sorry. Yeah, Tarmogoyf attacks Narset here. And yeah, I play Dovin. Dovin comes into play. Yeah, we negate the Tarmogoyf. It doesn't do damage anymore. And we get Thoughtseize again. And this time they take the Narset. So they don't want to draw more cards. And we play an Oath of Nissa after we draw it. See, our Renin 6. We take the Renin 6. We plus the Dovin on the Tarmogoyf again. Use the Renin 6 to get our land back. That's just going to be a recurring thing. Like, as long as I'm not mentioning it. This is them emptying out the Team of Battle Rage to get Delirium. In response to Teferi. So if you're wondering why they did that on my turn, it's because, yeah, they just wanted Delirium for this Traverse the Ulven Wall. So they can fight the Dead Shadow. Yeah, we top deck a Karn and just get an Ensnaring Bridge with it and just bridge them out here. So yeah, bridge, just locks them out completely at this point. They play another Death Shadow, but it just doesn't matter. Like, I get another bridge. I could have Knowledge Pooled them. This way I'm Ensnaring Bridging them, making sure they really can't ever attack me ever again. Like, Knowledge Pool still doesn't solve the board. So, if they ever manage to find their way back in. Yeah, that hand was an easy mulligan. We get Thoughtseized again. So they take our Renin 6. We play a Birds of Paradise. They Abrupt Decay it. So high birdie, bye birdie. We find a Dovin Hand of Control. I should have taken the Ashiok. I don't know. Probably not, because we are under a lot of pressure already. They traverse the Ulven Wall here for a Dead Shadow. They play the Dead Shadow. Yeah, we find the Teferi. We bounce it again. The Tarmogoyf comes back into play. I find another Teferi. And just bounce the Tarmogoyf again. All I'm trying to do is just buy time. Because as you can tell, it's turn 5. And I haven't drawn a 4th land yet. And I have 4 cards in... 2 4-mana cards in my hand. So they play the Tarmogoyf again for the 3rd time. They play a Lurrus after it. They can't bring anything back because of Dovin. So that's why they didn't. Renin 6 comes into play again. We get a land back and we finally get our land. But it's turn 7 at this point. We're super far behind. So yeah, Lurrus and Goyf attack. They play a Seal of Fire. And they use it to blow up my Dovin. Then Dovin goes away. Then they replay it. I find another Dovin and play it. So yeah, then I just use it on the Tarmogoyf. And all I want to do is just stop the pressure. They Seal of Fire me again. My elf dies. And they team a Battle Rage here, so they're attacking for 14 with the Dead Shadow alone. And yeah, we die. It just took too long to find lands with this one. So yeah, we have a hand here. This is a mulligan, it's too slow. This is a mulligan, doesn't do anything. And this is a keep, but it's not great. So we have a Dovin and a Prayer, because if we get Thoughtseize, we're done. They don't Thoughtseize, so we get to play the Dovin, which is nice, I guess. And we draw a Karn. Yeah, they play a Tarmogoyf. So yeah, I just make sure the Tarmogoyf doesn't deal damage. Yeah, Dovin has been really good this set. This entire set, Dovin has been really good. We find another Karn. And yeah, they dismember our elf. And we draw the 3rd Karn, because why not? So yeah, we just keep stopping the Tarmogoyf. Yeah, we find the land. We get to Karn, find an Ensnaring Bridge. They find the 2nd Tarmogoyf. We stop one of them, but one of them is going to attack now. And yeah, so they Veil of Summer my Dovin, so now both of them get to attack, which is really bad for me. And I take a ton of damage, and both my Planeswalkers die. And now they Inquisition me, take the Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah, now I just have 2 Karns and a Dovin, and I'm just getting beaten down. Tarmogoyf comes in for 6 again. I target the Dovin on the Tarmogoyf again, and they Veil of Summer it, and we are done here. In this hand we have an Arbor Elf and 3 Utopia Sprawls, but however we don't have any lands, so this is a mulligan. Then we have this hand, which is fine, definitely keeping this one. I bottom the Oath of Nissa because I just have 3 lands and 2 Planeswalkers. I need the ramp, I need the Planeswalkers. I play a Narset on turn 2 and my opponent goes turn 1 Mountain Relic, so I'm in a Blood Moon matchup, which really is annoying because I just bottomed my Oath of Nissa. I find another one, and I should have just taken it. Like, I'm getting really greedy here by taking the Vrask, and I just shouldn't have done it. I figured I could play it and then just kill the Blood Moon with it. But yeah, that's a giant risk, especially because I end up playing the Karn, which, yeah, I should have just I should have 100% made sure that I get around Blood Moon. I get Lightning Bolted on my Karn dies, I just get Blood Moon out, and it's my own fault. This is definitely just my own fault. Yeah, they play Pia and Kira on the lab. At this point, the game is just over. I can't cast my spells, and we are basically done here. The Ren 6 gets bolted. And yeah, that's just it, you know, like they attack a bunch. I pretend to have an attack here with Go Team Go Arbor Elf. And yeah, like they play a card and I'm just like, nope, I'm never winning this. I can't cast myself. I should have cast the Vraska. I should have taken the Oath of Nissa. There's so many things I could have done to play around Blood Moon. I just didn't and got greedy. It happens. It sucks. You shouldn't do it. So we Oath of Nissa on turn 1. We didn't sideboard, by the way. This deck doesn't sideboard. So we Oath of Nissa. I bounce a Mind Stone. The Fairy gets killed by the Lightning Bolt. Karn the Great Creator comes into play. They play a Pia and Kira and a Lar. I get a Wormcoil Engine. And I just figured, like, yeah, this is just a giant threat that they have a really hard time dealing with. And yeah, they attack the top 2 tokens into the Karn. Then they play a Hazoret the Fervent, which is really scary. Like, that's an unkillable threat for this deck. Like, I cannot deal with that. Yeah, I do draw the Jace, but yeah, I can bounce it here, but then they just replay it. Like, it doesn't do anything to bounce it here. So I plus deciding to play around Bolt, keep my Jace in play. They end up killing my Karn. I have a Jace in play on 4 counters. They have it, and then they play a Chandra Awakened Inferno and just kill it anyway. So I played around Bolt for nothing and got no value out of my Jace, which really sucks. So now my answer to Hazoret is gone. And my only plan is to just raise them with Wormcoil. So I'm just like dove in, stopping the Hazoret, making sure it doesn't deal damage yet. Like, I need all the time I can get. This deck cannot deal with creatures, and I need to gain life. I need to put on pressure. They activate their manland, a Frostwalk Bastion. I had never seen that card before, so that was quite cool to see. And yeah, my Dovin gets killed. I draw cards with Vraska, just trying to get anything at all going. I play an Ashok, which once again just does not have text in this matchup. Like, absolutely no text for that card. Complete nonsense in this game. Yeah, they start dealing damage with the Hazoret. They get in. Like, at this point, they're just racing me back. And I need to kill them with the Wormcoil Engine. There's no other choice. There's nothing else I can do. Because I cannot beat that Hazoret if it stays in play long enough. They keep swinging in. They're ignoring the Ashok, as they should. Oh, no, they didn't. They killed it. Sorry, my bad. They killed it. So, yeah, Pia, Kira, and the Lar used the token to block the Wormcoil, then shoot the token at the Arbor Elf. Now I play a Simian Spirit Guide, block the Pia and Kira and the Lar. But Hazoret has just done its job at this point. I'm taking so much damage. I attack, I get Skredded. And they play a Cult of the Hammer, and now they're keeping the Hazoret back because they just want to block. And make sure that the Cult of the Hammer goes ultimate. And yeah, I can't beat an ultimate, so... Okay, so after playing the games, yeah, this mana curve is a disaster. I do not like this mana curve at all. This deck, just every time my Arbor Elf got killed or my birds got killed, it was like, yeah, I'm not doing anything much till turn 3 and I'm gonna die a horrible death now. For the rest, this is a much better Karn the Great Creator deck than the other deck I played the other day, which I believe was a blue-green Tron deck. I didn't like the Karn the Great Creator package there. I liked it here a lot. But it's the same problem as always. Yeah, just there's no sideboard. Like, you cannot sideboard with this deck. So you have like Ashiok, Dream Render in your deck against Burn, which is just not a card in that matchup. With that being said, I would change a bunch of cards from this. Yeah, mainly to just get to a point where you have creature interaction. Like, if someone plays a Grizzly Bear on turn 2, or like a Goblin Guide on turn 1, you are just going to cry. Like, if your opponent goes turn 1 Goblin Guide, you die. That's just all there is. Like, this deck really needs some interaction. And I thought the Narset, Narset plus the Teferi's Puzzle Box combo wasn't very interesting. Like, I never got to do it. I never even got close. So I would cut those. I don't know about the Ashes. I would cut the Simian Spirit Guides. I would cut the Birds of Paradise. I would just, like, get 8 pieces of interaction in here and try again. I don't know what. That's very metagame dependent. But I could see this deck running Abrupt Decay. I could see this deck, Abrupt Decay is possible with, like, Pillar of the Perrunes or something. I can see taking out all the colored Planeswalkers and just, playing Pillar of the Perrunes. Or the monocolored Planeswalkers. Anyway, yeah, this deck, yeah, he managed to 5-0, so props to him. But I went, let's see, I played 15 matches with this, and I went 4 and yeah, I went 5 and 10 with it in total over 15 matches. So yeah, yeah, while this deck is very fun when it gets going, this definitely needs work. Like, it's just not fast enough or linear enough for Modern. But there is definitely a core. Like, I like the RBF Out of Nissa Utopia Sprawl into the Khan the Great Creator package with Renaissance. Like, this part of the deck is very good. I like the Dovin a lot as well. Yeah, I don't think you need 4 to Fairy. I think 3 is fine. Yeah, Jace is fine, but like a 1-off, it's very expensive. And Vraska is also fine. Like, you can do something with this and just get 12 cards of interaction and just go to town with this, because this part of the deck is really good. Like, this part of the deck is just really good. With that being said, yeah, I love and hate not being able to sideboard. It's so rough sometimes that you can't sideboard. But with that being said, yeah, thank you for watching. If you like the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. And if you ever have a deck you want me to play or a list you want me to try out, just let me know and I'll do it. Bye bye.